Hi, and welcome to the first lesson of Soul Pilgrim. This lesson is entitled The Siren Song. It is the moment that we've been called to, right here, right now in our lives, of where our reality has been changed, it's been shifted, and suddenly we stand at a precipice where we don't know what our future is going to look like, where there has been a shift almost at a tectonic plate level of our lives altering in some way. So, this journey that we're starting on is a way to be able to explore how we're feeling at the moment, acknowledging these feelings that we have instead of trying to sweep them under the rug, and then enabling us to find the resilience and the deeper guiding mechanism that we all have access to deep inside ourselves. And what it takes is to be able to listen deeply and internally to the inner wisdom that we all hold. The pilgrimage that we go on asks you to ignite your imagination. And these processes are a meld of fantasy and reality. The fantasy is that before each art making process, I'll be taking you through a guided visualization, asking you to conjure up and imagine scenes in front of you. Imagine almost as if you're dipping into a dream, following the narration and the story of a pilgrimage. But the reality comes in where you are feeling your feelings, you're processing what's actually going on inside of you at this time. We also work with mindfulness. So, along with a guided visualization, you're asked to really dip in to the stillness within your body and to quieten the mind so that you can hear the inner landscape, the inner sounds that are happening within you. Only once we can hear and see what's actually going on can we choose how to work with it. So the fantasy and the reality component. Now, the art making itself asks you to almost create an art piece as if you were blindfolded, but it's not that radical. What I mean by that is I'm asking you to create an art piece almost as if you're fumbling along in the dark, where you don't know what the final outcome is going to look like. So each art piece we do, we let go of all expectation, we quieten that voice of the inner critic or the inner judge, and we sit in a place of not knowing. So our first lesson that we're going to be doing is on mixed media collage, and the first art making tool that you're going to be acquiring is magazine imagery, and that's going to be one component of your artwork. So we'll sit with one magazine image, and somehow that one magazine image will be the start of an art piece. But I'm asking you not to plan what that art piece is going to look like, because I can guarantee you that 99.9% of the time, what your expectations hold for something and the final outcome of what actually transpires at the end of a process, they will be two completely different things. And this is where really the joy and the gift of this work comes into play, is because what we do in the art making process is a small simulation of how we live our lives. If we can sit in the discomfort, if we can sit in the uncertainty of an art making process where we don't know what that final outcome is going to look like. We don't know if we'll like it. We don't know if it'll bring us joy and satisfaction. Or we don't even know what story it's going to tell at the end of the art making process. But all we know is that we've got to put one foot in front of the other. We've got to make one mark. And then that one mark that we make is going to then enforce the next mark. So we're working step by step, moment by moment, trusting that something from deep inside is guiding us into the right direction. So, what better opportunity than to practice being in that space of not knowing, of uncertainty when you're in an art making process? Perhaps this is the first time you are doing an art making process like this, and you're even more bewildered, but that's fantastic, because the more we can acclimatize ourselves to these feelings as we're doing them in a small simulation on our art piece, the more we can get used to the feelings of enabling us to practice that in real life. So, the way that the lesson plan rolls is I'd like you to set yourself up with a lovely space, ensure that you have all of your art materials that you have available to you, that you've got them out around you, that you're able to dedicate some time to this, that you can tell your friend, tell your family, tell the people that you live with, for this amount of time, I need to be alone and I need to be undisturbed so that I can fully immerse into my process. This might be something that you do once during the week. You do the full art making process then and there, and you spend maybe 2 hours, maybe 3. A typical art session in the studio is about 3 hours long. Or maybe it's something that grows and develops and you keep dipping into throughout the week. So you find your rhythm. Once you've set up your space, you might want to do a little ritual of lighting a candle, having some beautiful music in the background, and then dive into it. So I have an art making demonstration that you can watch after this. And then when you're ready to sit down and to immerse in your process, you're going to listen to the guided visualization. And then straight from there, you dive into the art making process. Once that art making process is complete, we then have a reflection process. And this is where we use our artwork as a mirror. So our heart is connected to our hand. Our hand relays a part of our essence onto that art piece. So part of us has now been transcribed onto something that is outside of us, our art piece, but it acts as a mirror to reflect back something to us. So we ask our art piece questions and we ask it for guidance. And it's quite amazing. And the more we can create from the unknown place, where we have no expectations, we don't even care what it's going to look like, where you can really let yourself go and play and experiment and not think about, not analyze what you're doing. Just be fully immersed in the creative process. Because when it comes to the reflection, that's normally when we can pick up the real gems of working from a creative space. So enjoy the ride, girls. Enjoy it. Let's embark on this journey together. And give me a shout if you have any questions. But have fun with this. Be kind, be gentle, be experimental, and let's go on this ride together.